What is going on, my friends? It is your boy John Quick of the Talk That Lingo crew, where we definitely talk that lingo very fast. I wanted to let y'all know in my hoodie, I just put on a fresh coat of oil. So if you see these spots in my hood, it is not dirt. I assure you, it is oil. I just oiled and lathered the dreads all down. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, it is absolutely harder to keep money than to get it. I know most of y'all read the title, but this is our philosophy corner today. Not gonna be talking about no news like we normally do. We're gonna be talking about some philosophy topics, and I have my good brother, my cousin Tafari on the line. Tafari, what's up? What's up, cousin? How you living,
man? What's good with you, cuz? Yeah, it's funny that you was talking about, you know what I'm saying, oil in your hair. I just did that with my beard and my hair today. So, yeah, I definitely feel you on that.
That's kind of messed up that you gonna bring up the beard. I know we was just talking about that, and
Hey, man, look, you stick at it. You too, my friend, can have one.
listen, man, that's disrespectful to come on a man's show, start talking about your
Come
beard.
on, man.
That's disrespectful. But no, most importantly, before we do begin today's topic, I do want to encourage all my friends out there for sure. If you have somebody in your life and you appreciate them being in your life, let them know. Because we are here for a very, very small amount. We are here for a finite amount of time. So if you have somebody that you appreciate, let them know. If you have somebody that you were in an argument with, you were at odds, you had a disagreement, make sure you let them know that all of that stuff is in the past. But with that being said, cuz I appreciate you being in my life for sure. I want to let you know that I appreciate you being in my life. But the question for the day, I got 5 questions for y'all today. Question is, have we become less happy in this age of technology? And Tafari, I'm gonna hand it off to you, and offer this question up to you. Have we become less happy in this age of technology? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll back that answer up. Obviously the answer that everybody will probably know is with social media, right?
Sure.
Social media, as people state oftentimes, social media just shows you highlights. So if you and somebody else in like a competing career field, or like there's similarities there, you kind of low key or subconsciously judging yourself based on their results. So it's like, well, damn, they was just in Dubai. Damn, they just did this, did that. How come I ain't doing it? Or it make you evaluate yourself a little bit more. So that's one thing. Also, everything just comes so quick in this day and age, from Uber to like just different experiences. So I think our reality or logic in terms of what gratification is supposed to be, or the time frame within getting certain gratification, that's kind of misconstrued.
So you are okay. So let me try to deduce your argument here a little bit here. So you're saying the quick gratification that we get, and you use the analogy Uber. Like if you need somewhere to go, you pick up your phone, you got the app on your phone, and you hit a button, and then the ride for you to your destination will be there almost instantaneously. Is that basically what you're saying? Like we have that quick gratification.
We got that too, but just even like, all right, so back in the day, I'm sure you know what I mean, because we millennials, so and especially like, you know what I mean, on the earlier part, like before there was an Uber or something like that, like if you needed to go somewhere, you really had to figure that out. Like, all right, we might have to walk it, chalk it, we might have to walk there. Like, it's been times that I didn't, you know what I mean, because I lived in Logan for a long time. I've literally walked from Logan to Cheltenham before, or like when I was first going to Temple, I used to walk from Logan to like Temple. So it's like just that, like certain experiences people nowadays are growing up in this era won't have, and it's just, I feel like people just don't struggle as much no more, and or maybe I shouldn't use struggle no more, but in terms of the grind, like it's not there. So it's like anytime you come up with any type of external force, it's gonna like be harder to actually deal with that with so much things in place to kind of negate that external force. like people growing up in past generations, we really had to get through certain type of things. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel that part too. A lot of people don't talk about.
That's very interesting, man. And I want to stop the show right there, man. If you are in here, drop a like. Shout out to everybody listening on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, the works. We are working on Instagram. But let me get back to something that you said. So you feel like people aren't grinding as much as they used to? Like I got, clarify that a little bit for me. I guess I'm a little confused.
Okay. So not necessarily the grinding. Maybe that was the wrong phrase, because I could say there's a possibility people are opening more business now, especially like through the pandemic, and we seeing what that that came about economically. I would say more people probably have more businesses now, but I feel like in terms of what people deal with, I feel like people deal with things a lot differently.
Sure.
Than people before. And then that also could be a pro con in itself, because a lot of things people dealt with back then, they kind of hit it at the same time. So when we talk about like mental trauma, emotional baggage, things of that nature, I felt like people before kind of dealt with it a little bit better, but at the same time, they dealt with it with not dealing with it. So it's kind of like a mind over matter thing, where it's like, as we starting to see over the years, like mental health and those type of issues, a lot more people especially in our community, are dealing with it, being addressed more. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in that sense. But I do feel like a lot of experiences people had in the past, people nowadays might not have been able to deal with it, just due to the resources they have around them now.
Got you. Okay, so you feel like right now, where we are in the space that we are, or even in the time that we are, there are an abundance of resources to deal with some of these mental issues. Is that right?
Right. Like, even if you use, let's financially, like, use saving. I feel like saving nowadays is kind of harder than back in the day, because a lot of the accessories are so accessible today. It's like when it comes to spending frivolously, it's like it's easier to do that. Whereas like, if you really wanted something back in the day, like you really had to like, all right, I got everything on lock, and then I can't spend this, or I'm gonna have to go a couple days without this. Whereas like today, it's so many ways to do so many things. You got so much access into art. Well, I might just save a little bit today. I might find a cheaper way to do this here. You know what I mean? And then even with Cash App, like I feel like we kind of negate the fact that Cash App, like, it's just so easy to send somebody some money or get some money from somebody. Like back in the day, you really had to go outside and work for it. Cash App was, let me go outside. I might have to shovel some snow, or I might have to do some lawn work, or you know what I'm saying? It was different ways of finding money. Like, it's so accessible in today's.
And to your point with Cash App, before, if you borrow money from somebody, you've had to physically be in the flesh with that person to pay them the money back. I hear you with that.
All right, a better example, I would say, in terms of communication with people, like people so today in culture, so, and then it's not even just the younger generation too. That's a thing that I realized too. There's a lot of people our age that they got so accustomed to the technology, like they don't even know how to hold a communication, like a conversation no more. So like DMing, these different things, where it's like you can communicate with people without being in person. It's like when you get in front of somebody now, you barely know how to speak, because it's like you're not used to the face-to-face communication, where, as you might know, back in the day as a young boy, like to approach a shorty, you had to literally go up to her and take the chance that you might catch that L, like she might
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Whereas like today, you'll see a dude, he'll be in the same spot with a chick, and the first thing he'll do, he'll DM you like, I'm across the room. Like, what? Like, come on, bro. that don't show no sign of confidence, nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the thing. Like, we look over that a lot of times in society today.
No, I hear you on that. It's so funny that you say that, because especially now in the realm of text messaging and to your point, DMing and stuff like that, I would imagine there are more guys who feel a little bit more comfortable shooting their shot with the girl via an emoji or via a quick text message or something like that. You know what I mean? Versus, oh wow, you know, I'm at this bar, you're at this bar. Let me buy you a drink. What's your name? What you do for a living? Like, I remember it reminds me of the whole Biggie line where he goes, "What's your name? What's your sign?" Then I creep up, you know, as soon as he
exactly.
you know what I mean?
Man, to your point, to piggyback off of what you said with the emoji, do you know how Quavo pulls Sweetie?
Oh yeah. With
a snowflake emoji. Oh,
Facts.
icy girl. Like, come on, dog. Like,
Facts.
And then even in that situation, if Quavo wasn't Quavo, that would have been a dub.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Well, I guess one of my questions to you is, if Quavo wasn't Quavo, let's say Quavo is Quavo, right? Mm-hmm. And he does send her the drop or whatever it is, the raindrop, whatever it is, or the what is the snowflake,
the snowflake right? Emoji. Yep.
Okay, so let's say he sends her the snowflake, and we all know how Sweetie and Quavo ended, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think the DM or the route in which they connected, do you think that played a role into their short stint of a relationship? Do you think that at all was a factor? The fact that they didn't physically connect in person, but yet online. Do you think that played a role or could have been a factor into their short relationship?
I would say no. I would say honestly, the relationship just took the course. Again, I don't know all ins and outs of their relationship, what happened, what have you. But I would say that that didn't have anything to do with the relationship. If anything, that shows that like she was already attracted to him, so it really didn't. He didn't have to put in too much effort. This goes into like, because even me saying that reference, that was based off something I was hearing somebody say. Like, when you shoot the shot, there's really no like art to shooting your shot. It's like,
that's a fact.
Quavo pulls Sweetie with an emoji, so it's like if she's attracted to you, whatever you say, as long as it's like in the realm of like being a decent person,
right?
You're pretty much good to go.
Facts. I got you. Okay. So basically, if it wasn't Quavo, none of y'all that's shooting y'all shot at Sweetie probably have a chance to get her. I'm just gonna
like let's say somebody else would have did that. It'd have been like, nah, like, you're not even icy. So it's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Right, yeah. So I mean, I just think like in today's culture, you know what I mean, it's just so everything is kind of like we so often looking to simplify life to its like most simplest form or basically water it down in some way that it's like that alters how we build people in society. So when people talk about people in society, they too soft, and like to some degree it's correct. You know what I'm saying? We implement so many things that stop people from actually having to put in some of the grunt work.
And that's that instant gratification that you talk about.
Exactly.
It's something. It's like you said, back to the Uber point. You need a ride. You pull up an app on your phone, you hit a button, and your ride is outside within 5-10 minutes. Right. Back in the day, you had to call a cab and then keep peeking outside to see if the cab is there, or wait to hear the honk of the horn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Those, and then it was just kind of like, okay, I just called the cab, the 215-333-3333. That.
But bro, not even that. People don't get lost no more. Like that.
Facts.
Thing back in the day, like even to our, because some people from past generation would say that about us. Well, y'all had map quests and all that. All we had was the map, and if you ain't know how to read that joint, you had to figure it out. Like, that's the thing. So it goes to that same concept. Like, I remember times before I was lost and I just had to figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and even like, and you know what? The sad part is it's just going to continue to get worse because we're going to continue to progress with technology. And then that's going to continuously, you know what I'm saying, just make everything else accessible to us. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. But I mean, I guess it's a positive and a con in itself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's how you look at it.
Pros and cons to everything, for sure. I definitely appreciate that. That is a very, very good topic. Let us know in the comments. I think we got some super chats coming in. for sure. I'm gonna read this super chat from Pan Sue. I think people who without tech would be miserable are better off with modern tech, and those who would be content without tech are often less happy because social media makes them compare their own lives too much with the idealization of others' lives and focus too much on what they don't have because of that. And I think that, to your point, Tafari, this speaks exactly to what this comment says. Let's go to our next super chat. Looks like I don't think you meet has all that much to do with I don't think how you meet has all that much to do with how the relationship ends up going.
Exactly, yeah.
This is something, and shout out to everybody listening on Twitch. This is something that I would absolutely have to disagree. And the reason why I say I disagree,
I think I see where you're coming from, but yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the reason why I have to disagree is because let's say you meet someone online, you never physically met them in person. Okay, so Quavo and Sweetie are that's an extreme example because Sweetie can validate Quavo because he's not only an artist, but everybody in the world knows him. So it's not like they're just meeting online, right? Take a step back to, let's say, normal people. If you meet a girl online, you never physically met her in person, and she cannot validate you as a person because y'all met online. She can't validate you because you guys know no mutual people between the two of you. She only knows you based on your profile. You only know her based on her profile, right? Fast forward to y'all meeting. Well, y'all meet can be very, very awkward because not only are you going from a profile to an actual physical person, there are nonverbal cues that you receive from a person when you meet them in person or when you see them in person. You don't get those same nonverbal cues or nonverbal forms of communication via a profile or a direct message, or you get what I'm saying? So right. You can be attracted to someone, the idea of someone, i.e. an Instagram profile or a Twitter profile. You can be attracted to the idea and have an infatuation with the idea of the person. Then when you meet the person in real life, maybe you guys are talking over each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are just some of the nonverbal cues that you maybe you guys are walking down the road, it starts raining and he doesn't offer you his umbrella and that turns you off. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are just nonverbals that don't necessarily get communicated through messages. You get what I'm saying? So especially if you meet somebody online, it could be very, very difficult for you to find out how and where that person can fit into your life. You get what
I
I'm saying?
didn't even think that was the scenario I was gonna go with.
No, give me a scenario. Give me a scenario because I would love to hear.
So, a scenario where meeting someone would kind of dictate the length of the relationship or how the relationship end. You meet a chick in a strip club, gentleman's club. You know what I'm saying? She dancing. I mean, y'all hit it off. Whatever the case is, the likelihood of that actually working out is slim to none.
I ain't going to lie, Tafari. You took it there. I ain't going to lie. That's
like the perfect example. And me being a DJ,
yeah,
I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to get it wrong, not to say that a relationship, because this is a hot topic in itself. You could have a whole show on this, but not to say a relationship with a woman that's in the adult industry can never be successful or she can never be faithful. But is the thing of can I trust her? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, you might not be that person, but it's like it's different variables to that. Like, that's just not conducive to a healthy relationship.
Right.
Like, any way you slice it.
Looks like the next chat is fair enough, and I suppose because of how people filter possible partners nowadays within a single message or two, certain people will go well together. That will go well together might never actually meet just because they didn't immediately hit it off via text, whereas they possibly would have if they were to meet in real life. My point exactly. So it's like you could hit it off with the person via text as well, where you guys are, texting back and forth, and the vibe is there in terms of what this person is saying, and she's giggling and laughing. Then when y'all meet in person,
chemistry off.
The chemistry is off. It's much tougher. And then vice versa. It's like if these people were to meet live in person the first time, maybe the chemistry is there. Then, and this actually happens all the time. So people meet live in person and the chemistry is there. Then somebody goes to follow up, whether it's the next day or the next couple days, and then the vibe ain't there via text message. You get what I'm saying?
I feel even in those relationships is a little bit better when you meet a person in person and then y'all kick it off.
Yeah.
Typically, if it doesn't translate via text, it's still a chance it can be worked out based on how bad it is via text. Because then some people understand, like, not everybody's a good texter. They got, you know what I mean, depending on their lifestyle or their daily routine, like they might not be as readily accessible via text or a phone call. So that some people might be understanding of that, versus if we have great communication and then we link in person and it's not hitting, then
it's gonna be awkward.
Nah,
it's gonna be awkward.
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward.
It's definitely gonna be awkward.
So to your point, I mean, like the personal interaction do kind of determines the length of the relationship in that aspect.
Yeah. Pansu says, I think that if something ends up in an actual relationship, the way that goes in the long run isn't too much different, no matter how it started. No, I'm with you. Yeah. I do think that it, especially those initial forms of communication, or that initial point in which the two people meet, there are hurdles that are in place, right? There are hurdles that are in place. So not only do you have to pass the vibe check in person, but then after you pass the vibe check, you leave that person, and then you start to think about, how did the date go? You start replaying, how did it go for me? How did it go for me? And then you might think, wow, was I too weird? Was I this? Did I say too much? Did I reveal too much of myself too soon? Like, you start to have these just self-talking moments where you're just replaying everything that went on. And it's kind of like, that may not play a role into how it's going to end up, but it absolutely is a factor in terms of, let's say that I think I revealed too much of myself during the date, and then, or during the first time I met this person, and I think this person thinks I'm weird. Next thing you know, the person, you know, I've already put a stigma into my mind about this relationship not going far, or on the vice versa. Say I really like this person, I think the date went well, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is going to be the person that I married from the first time me meeting this person. And then next thing you know, it's one of those things where it can't happen. Pansu, thanks so much for typing in the chat. We appreciate that. Tafari, I got some other questions that I want to ask you.
For sure. Let's go. Let's do it.
Sure, Pansu, definitely stick around for this. My question to you is it more important to be respected or to be liked? What are your thoughts?
Western philosophy 101 type time. All right, let's see.
Yep, that's right.
Respected or liked? Respected, because once you're respected, you're kind of liked to some aspect. There's with being liked, there's I want to say a surface level to it to some degree.
So because while I agree with you, I'm gonna just play the devil's advocate here to move the conversation along.
Come on, do that.
I would have to say one can be respected and not liked at the same time.
That's true.
Point in case, no matter where. Okay. So we all know what's going on with, the gas prices, Russia, Biden, all this crazy stuff, right? A lot of people did not initially, and there's a reason why I'm saying all this, right? And this is not to go into a political conversation, but a lot of people did not necessarily support Donald Trump when he initially was in office. Obviously, we had the January 6th debacle. with the capital. And then a lot of people, or at least more people, voted for Biden to be the next president after Trump, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I say that to say, fast forward till today, the same very people who voted for Biden are a lot of the a lot of the critics. Okay, let me. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling and fumbling and mumbling. A lot of people
man, it's your show. Take your time.
I mean, I have to. But listen, a lot of people who voted for Biden are now today some of his biggest critics. And while those people did not like Donald Trump, they can now see where they should have respected his position on a lot of the, I guess, a lot of the policies that he stood for. You know, he would never have allowed gas prices to get this high. He would have never had allowed Russia to do what they're doing over there in Ukraine. Some of the things that are happening today, I mean, I think we all could agree, just quite frankly, probably would not have happened had Donald Trump been,
yeah, that's why I say that with being respected, there's some level of being liked, because in order to respect something or to respect a person, there got to be a level of content or like to that. So I might not like you in totality, but I can respect or like the fact that something you do, and like that respect comes from me. Like, yo, I can appreciate, or I like the fact that you do this.
Okay, so you saying like a Kobe Bryant fan, right? Like or excuse me, like an opposing fan of the Lakers. When the Lakers come into town, Kobe Bryant is playing. You respect Kobe Bryant, but you don't like the fact that he's doing it to your team.
But you like the aspects. The reason why you respect him, because you like aspect of what he does. You might not like him as a person there and that, or you might not like he's on the other team, but you like how the type of person he is as a player, and you like, yo, low key, I respect the fact that they got somebody on a team like that. We need somebody on our team like that. You like that aspect of his character. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say, where it's like, I can like you as a person, like we can chemistry wise, I can like you as a person, but there's a flaw in your character where it's like, I can't respect that.
God,
you can have those two dichotomies. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. That makes sense. Let me get Pantsu a moment to jump in here. He says, Pantsu says, and like I said, shout out to everybody listening on Twitch. Pantsu says, a baseline amount of respect is definitely needed. If someone likes you but doesn't give a damn about your boundaries or what you say, then that's garbage. So being liked without any respect sucks. Being liked without respect is great. Being respected without being liked is all right, even if not ideal. I would agree. I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. I guess the one thing that I would not agree with is that, so being liked without any respect sucks. Being liked without respect is great. Being liked with respect is great. Okay, I misread that wrong, but I'm still going to disagree with this point. Being liked without any respect does not necessarily suck, and here's the reason why. Like I said,
okay, let's hear the explanation of that.
I want to just disagree only to move the conversation forward. Being liked without any respect, I would love to have and garner the respect of my peers, but as long as I guess I'm struggling with this a little bit here, because I can see as I went to explain my position, I can see where you would want to be respected more than liked, because respect holds a little bit more value than being liked by somebody. Liking you or not liking you is just kind of like up in the air, and it's opinionated, and it could be a biased opinion, unbiased opinion, doesn't even matter. But if they respect you, they may not like you, but if they respect you, you can get more done. So Pantsu, I have to concede that point to you, my brother. I absolutely have to concede that point to you. Any last thoughts on this topic, Tafari?
I would say with being liked, it's too much emotion involved in it. So it's like the scenario I was thinking about in my head as far as like social media, right? People that go viral, people that have millions of followers, millions of whatever the case is.
Yeah.
A lot of times we perceive that as this person, oh, they must be having so much money, or they must be successful. But a lot of times me liking something is just on a whim. I might just like it that day, or the content you're saying, you know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of times what you'll see is people that are viral. A lot of times businesses or even that person, they'll try to move into different areas or different careers, whereas like they're not respected in that field, so it don't translate. So that's the thing with being liked. Like even as a person, if you're liked as a person but not respected, then that wavers, because it's only time can tell how long people will like you. Facts. Or how long they'll like what they like about you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with respect, there's as the messenger, the person that just left that message. What's the name again?
It looks like Pantsu, and my apologies, Pantsu. Okay. We're not pronouncing that correct.
If we messing that up, we apologize. But as Pantsu was saying, with respect, there's a baseline in terms of, okay, I'm gonna respect your boundaries, I'm gonna respect your mind, I'm gonna respect you as a person. You know what I mean? And then however that respect level is, there's a baseline for that. So it's like we both can communicate, or there's a meeting grounds of sorts where it's like, all right, this is the line we agree upon, we're not crossing.
No, I definitely understand. Like I said, I'm gonna concede that point to yourself and Pantsu for sure. Like I said, Pantsu, thanks so much for looks like Pantsu dropped another comment. I wanna he said it's fine. Perfect, Pantsu. Perfect. You should have told me that.
We want to respect you, Pantsu. We want to respect you. We don't respect you and like you, so we gonna give you the respect first.
Hey man, and speaking of likes, if you are in here, drop a like. If you are in here, drop a like. Shout out to everybody tuning in and touching base with the Talk That Lingo crew. Talk That Lingo very fast. Like I always say, it's harder to keep money than to get it. I'm on the line right now with my cousin Tafari, my big cousin.
You want to talk about that? Like in terms of us like realizing we cousins?
Oh yeah, no, we'll save that for another show. We'll save that for another show.
That's an interesting story. That is actually crazy.
Very interesting story. Pantsu, you might want to hear that too. So Pantsu, make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you drop us a like for show. But let me shift to this. I got 3 more questions. Let me shift to this.
All right, bet.
What is the meaning of a good life?
Ooh, these questions getting deep now. Good life. It is all depending on what you want out of life. So it's not like a stationary answer to that question. I think a lot of people will say there are certain requirements to have a good life. Of course, you got to be healthy, spiritually in mind. I guess that all can kind of blend in with health. But some people would say finding your purpose in life, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Some sort of relationship, being able to give back to society or inspire society, that type of thing. But again, it's all based on what a person perceives as being good and what they want out of life. That's kind of like a hard one to answer for real.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump in here because it doesn't look like Pantsu is joining in on us this topic just yet.
It was like, no, y'all getting too deep on me now. He was like, wait, I gotta think about this one. So let me come back. He was like, I'm gonna go right there real quick and I'm gonna come back with it. All right, I understand.
Pantsu done dipped on us. Actually, speaking of Pantsu, it looks like he has joined us again. His main mantra is pretty much don't waste your time with stuff that doesn't matter and that you don't even enjoy. You know, I can't lie to you, Pantsu. I have a problem with what you just said. I can't lie. I have a problem with what you just said.
Yeah, there's definitely some loopholes to that.
There are some loopholes. And here's what I will say. I often tell folks, well, young black men like myself, and for those who are really much younger than me, really, because I actually didn't discover something like this until I was maybe a couple months ago. But I normally tell people not to chase their passion and chase their purpose, right? So
sure.
your passion can lead you, and I know, and actually, Tafar, I know you and I were talking about your passion. Maybe it was last week a little bit when I was telling you, like, you know, my passion for music has changed. I don't necessarily have that same passion any longer. But through me acting on that passion, I found my purpose, right?
Right.
And I say that to say, based on what Pansu is saying, don't focus on, you know, things that you don't even enjoy. It leads me to think, like, if you are out here and you're doing things for your own happiness, that could lead you down the road of self-destruction. But if you are doing things that you don't necessarily enjoy and they pay the bills for you, my suggestion would be to you, you continue to do that thing that you don't enjoy that pays your bills. I would have to lot to see that. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you jump in there. Go ahead.
I get your point though. Following what you enjoy, that could leave you to a road of self-destruction. Definitely depending on what that thing is. Like for instance, like I'm in a nightlife situation, so yeah, it's easy for a person to say, well, a good life is doing what you enjoy and kind of leaving out everything else that doesn't matter to you. But what if what you enjoy is going out every night, clubbing, turning up? Like, okay, like I could tell you living a good life because you attaining all these things, but then like from society standpoint, you kind of really in a negative place because it's like, are you taking care of your kids? Are you taking care of your responsibilities? Like what else do you have to offer outside of turning up and going to the club, or like I can get into this spot free, or yo, I know such and such. Like, so I think again is like it's very hard to kind of define or put a category on what's determined to be a good life, because there's so many things that people really have to ask themselves before really finding an answer to that.
No, I agree with that. And it looks like Pansu has provided us some further clarification. He says, well, I didn't just include things you don't enjoy. I also include things that matter, like we said, in terms of job, doing things that you need to do to pay the bills, paying your bills and making sure you have a decent quality of life in the long run absolutely matters. And I would absolutely have to agree with that. But don't do things that don't further you in any meaningful way and are unenjoyable. That is something that I would absolutely have to agree with for sure. And that further expands that initial comment that you put. Like, and then Pansu continues. He said, like, if someone goes to university to study something that they never want to do later in life, just to have a diploma or whatever, and they don't enjoy the process, then don't do that. I would have to agree with that. Now, it's funny that you say that, because I do know people who get into these binds where they have to take a major that they don't necessarily want, and I'm not saying you're wrong here. I just want to speak for those people out there, but because I agree with what you're saying, Pansu, here, especially in this last comment. I absolutely agree. Don't take up a major that you are not going to be able to see yourself in the future doing that specific job. So, like, if you're a psychology major and you can't sit there and let people sit on your couch and talk to them, don't do it. But I do know that there are people out there who select certain majors or certain degree paths just so they can get to the finish line, because a lot of the jobs nowadays are just looking to see if you can complete some shit like that. They don't even care what it is about.
Man, this show too deep, because even with this question in itself, or this scenario, is like you can have a whole episode long conversation about this. But I honestly think like the and shout out to Pansu. I want to say, Pansu, you got to be from the UK, because typically people don't refer to college as university here. Like,
let me.
But that's just I don't know. That was just on my mind.
Let me show Pansu's next comment, because this one is gonna really let you know where he's from. He says, by all means, go to uni. Once they say uni, oh my goodness.
Right. You gotta be. but hey, that just shows that we gotta reach out here. But
Yeah, even if it's unenjoyable, but only if you at least think it will help you later, then it'll be worth it. Absolutely.
okay.
Then he
I
goes
would
on.
say this though. I would say that the model of picking a career field or major before actually experiencing life or experiencing life within that major is kind of outdated, because so many times you have people that they like, okay, they pick this major, like, okay, I want to be a lawyer or whatever the case is, and not experiencing life as a person being in that field or experiencing life in that field. And then once you do go through it, you realize I really don't like nothing with law. Or like, all right, in my case, when I first went to college, I was a marketing major. I knew the aspect of being creative marketing, like creative marketing. I knew that was my passion.
Yeah.
Coming up with ads, jingles, that type of thing. Once I got to college, and it wasn't until like at least my junior year, my junior year, once I transferred to Temple, and realized there was so much math involved in the form of business, whether that, and it is like, I'm 3 years in to this point, 3.5 actually, and the actual part of marketing that I enjoyed, I had nothing to do with it. Like, I wasn't able to tap into that. So I realized, you know what? Okay, communication is actually my lane, because as soon as I transferred over to communication, it was like everything marketing aspect wise, creatively, I was able to do it. And not only that, I was able to talk things out. And I was like, oh, this is really more my speed, like to be more conscious of what I'm seeing, what's being marketed to me, how that actually affecting me, how I'm connecting with that. So that I would say to say you want to live your life based off of a career field you choose without getting into it first. That too, I don't know. Or okay, to tell people to follow their career path on what they feel is that career path or what that career path entails. I don't know if I totally agree with that either.
I got you. Yeah, man. Definitely, man. If you are in here, drop a like. We appreciate y'all tapping into the Talk That Lingo crew, where we talk that lingo very fast for sure. And Safari, it looks like Pantsu is actually from Germany. So
Germany. Okay, all right. Shout out to Germany, man.
We was close, but definitely shout out to Pantsu, shout out to Germany for sure. Like I said, make sure y'all drop us a like, make sure y'all drop us a comment. I want to read this comment that Pantsu left us as well. He said, yeah, of course you don't always know what matters, but some people know for sure something doesn't matter, and they still do it just to make their parents proud or something. Yes. That, and I can speak to that being, being an American-born Islander, I can speak to that for sure. You want to make sure that the reason why, and I have a ton of Jamaican homies, Haitian homies, things like that. But you want to make sure that when you're in these colleges or when you're in these positions to better yourself or grow, that you're not only thinking about your personal interest, your self-interest, but you're also thinking about the interest of your past family, and then more importantly, the family that's going to come after you, that you are hopefully leaving a legacy for. With that being said, let me shift to this. Let me shift the topic here. Like I said, if you are in here, drop a like. Shout out to everybody listening to the Talk That Lingo crew, where we talk that lingo very fast for sure. It's harder to keep money than to get it, like I always say. But I want to shift to this. Tafari, what is friendship? This is one of two of the last questions that we had. We got one more question after this, but what is friendship?
Man, I think friendship is just another form of a relationship. I actually think it's a relationship without the romantic or sexual component, because we should really think about it. A lot of things, like I could say, for instance, a lot of things you get mad with a friend for, kind of ties into like how you would get mad at a partner in a romantical sense. So it's like, yo, you left me here, or nah, you said this, and you know what I mean? Like, those are conversations you could have. Those are conversations that's interchangeable in a romantic relationship to some degree. So I guess shorthand really is a relationship without the romantic or sexual component.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. And I'm gonna give Pantsu a moment to join us on that. But it looks like he says first off and foremost he agrees with that definition for sure. And I think I understand that, especially in terms of an actual relationship. There are very similar components to a relationship that you have with the opposite sex or that you have with a significant other. That's where we're going to leave it. A significant other. And then there are some similarities that you may have with a friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to really, really, really protect certain components of the friendship just as you do of a relationship with a significant other. You really, really have to make sure that you are respecting boundaries, respecting the person, and respecting things that they stand for. I was waiting on Pantsu to add some clarity to some of the stuff that we're talking about. He either may be typing or he may not have hit send yet. But it looks like we are coming up on the 46-minute mark on our show. So I do want to share our
thing flew by fast, man.
Yeah, things flew by very, very fast. And Pantsu, we're going to give you a moment and opportunity to absolutely comment on this topic as well as our next topic. However, if you are in here, make sure you drop us a like. Make sure you follow the channel. If you do not follow me on TikTok or my Instagram, that is where I teach you how to save the money that you either earn or profit. I'm not looking to scam you or take any money from you. I don't ask you for money. I literally want to show you how you can keep the funds that you get. So if you make $5 today, I'm going to be able to show you how you can turn that $5 into $30 and turn that $30 into $100, so on and so forth. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. What are we? We are Figure It Out. Follow us there because we gonna help you keep that money. Figure it out how to follow us because I'm telling you, we gonna help you keep that money for sure.
Yo, cuz you got a YouTube page?
YouTube page. Actually, we are.
All right, we gonna figure it out. Okay, then.
Yeah, we gonna figure it out. We are actually streaming live on YouTube. We streaming live on Facebook. Pantsu will tell you we streaming live on Twitch as well. And it looks like Pantsu's comment has come in on the friendship. Friendship is when you give a buddy a hand job because he broke both of his arms without that being game. It's Pantsu.
Hey man, you're a better friend than me. You're a better
friend. Pantsu.
Hey Pantsu, you say I mean, hey, maybe that's friendship out. Look, maybe that's friendship out in Germany. He's better friends than us. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that good of a friend. Maybe I don't think I have to, but maybe I have to evaluate my friendship skills. Listen.
Oh man, Pantsu, we trying to keep all of our platforms PG-13. We streaming from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. What else? We streaming the YouTube. We said that already, but we try to keep a PG-13.
Hey, you ever watch Scary Movie 3? Yeah. Maybe that's the greeting, and maybe that's the friendship greeting out there. I don't know.
Nah, you good, Pantsu. You good, Pantsu. Like I said, we appreciate you tapping that for sure. The last question that we have, I want to shift to this for sure. Is everything connected?
That's a very abstract question.
Very abstract, but I'm very interested to see where your mind goes with this question here.
I really don't know how to answer that. I guess I would say if we're talking about the universe and the laws of attraction, that type of, if we're coming from it from that angle,
sure.
I would say yes.
Okay.
If we're talking in terms of history, I guess I'm gonna have to say yes as well. So I guess depending on the topic, I would say yeah for sure. You could argue that.
Okay. If you were on the opposing side to either of those arguments, let's say you thought, okay, so you know how a debate team normally will debate a point, doesn't necessarily mean that they believe in that point. They just go ahead and just debate that.
Right. Just for argument's sake.
Make an argument for things in history not being connected.
I would say the only argument for things in history not being connected is the fact that there was a choice involved. So, the fact that there was a person was able to make a choice, that the connection can't be predetermined because the person had to choose which choice they wanted to make, which then leads to the connection to the result. So I said, I'm that's the only way I really feel like I can really argue against that, is like, in terms of with history, there's a lot of choices involved. There are moving parts that literally are moving, so they can't be connected while they're moving. So that's the best way to kind of go against that.
Okay. Help them out here a little bit, Pantsu.
Yeah, help me out, man. Help me out.
Help them out a little bit here, Pantsu. I think if we were making an argument for everything not being connected, if we were making that argument, I think I have to absolutely agree with you in terms of it's a choice. Everybody has a choice. You get to these forks in the road where you have to make a decision. And probably more often than not in history, people make the same decisions, right? I want to give Pantsu an opportunity to come in here. He said, I don't think everything is connected. A lot of things and people are, and I guess it depends on what exactly you mean by connected. But and it sounds like he was saying exactly what you were saying in the beginning, right? But it depends on what exactly you mean by connected. But in terms of what I do in my room as an impact on someone on the other side of the globe, not necessarily. I think I don't see much evidence of that. So I'm only going based on what your comment, Pantsu, here is, and I could see that if you do something in your room, it can absolutely impact something that is happening on the other side of the globe. I.e., let's say Bitcoin, right? If you had $100 million in your account and you decided to put $100 million in the Bitcoin and you're in your room and you're in Germany, you're in your room in Germany, you put $100 million in the Bitcoin. Well, that is going to affect the price of Bitcoin here in the US, which is across the globe. You get what I'm saying? So there are things that you can do in the confines of your room, small room, on the massive scale of this globe that can affect people who are on the other side of the globe. Let's say the president. We all know that the president has a big red button somewhere in the Oval Office, where if he presses this big red button,
doomsday.
Yeah, it's going to be doomsday. Well, that is relatively speaking, the Oval Office is a small room in comparison to the globe. Well, if he goes in that room and he presses that button, well, that will affect literally everyone in between the Oval Office, around the globe, and then back again. You get what I'm saying? So it literally affect everybody. So there are things that you can do in the confines of your home. There are things that you can do within your room that will affect things going on across the globe. But on a macro level, typically I agree with you, Pantsu, because things don't necessarily happen like that all the time. But it does go back to and some of y'all may not know, the long story about you step on an ant, you kill the president of a country, right? It's just like that. Like if you
that infinitesimal effect, yeah,
it's like a domino effect from you moving this leaf 1 inch, and then a car accident happens out here, like something like that. And it looks like Pantsu wants to add some clarity here. And this will be the last because we're coming up on an hour here. But Pantsu says, well, yeah, it depends. I mean, we are in a way connected right now because we are communicating with each other. But to say everything is connected would be to say no matter what I do, what I talk, who I talk to, what I decide to do, people will be affected by my decisions anyway. And I don't believe that. No, I agree. Yes, the butterfly effect. Not sure if I really believe in that though. Pantsu, I'm gonna have to ask you to come on the show.
Facts.
Pantsu, if you could do me a favor, Pantsu, reach out to me via DM, and we have to connect and get you on the show because you make some very, very intriguing points. And it definitely sounds like you are a very, very smart person, and we want to get you on the show if that's okay with you. We would like to have you definitely join and add. He's like, sure, I don't do the camera though. Yo, that is absolutely no problem. And listen, everybody who is listening, I do want to let y'all know we welcome people to come on the show, and you do not need to be on camera. We have a very, very cool software that we can have people type in their name, add their opinion to the discussion, and not ever be on camera. And we are absolutely okay with that. And also, even if you don't want to come on the show, please feel free to leave us a comment. But with that being said, it sounds like Tafari is trying to prevent himself from the car behind him.
Here struggling to park real quick, but it's all good. You got it done.
Sound like you got it done. But I'm gonna leave the floor open to you. Any closing thoughts? Any closing remarks that you got for the people?
Thanks everybody that was listening. Thanks Pansu for the comments. Just with I think I don't know. I think everything we said kind of just dived in or dealt with just people and communication in some aspect. No, it was good. Yo, I had fun, man. Thank you for having me on.
For sure. And shout out my guy Pansu for sure. Shout out my guy Pansu. We definitely want to extend a shout out to Pansu for sure. He held it down for us, man.
Definitely, man. Had definitely some good points too, man.
Definitely has some good points. Now the whole blow job or hand job thing that you're talking about, that is a very unique gesture.
Y'all a little different over there in Germany than ours, homie.
Yes, sir. That is a very unique gesture. Very unique. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all tapping into the Talk That Lingo podcast, where we absolutely talk that lingo very, very, very fast. And like I always say, it is absolutely harder to keep money than to get it. Listen, make sure you follow my cousin. We put his Instagram name in the description at DJ2Fly215. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got that up in the description.
All types of events.
Yeah, man. If you in Philly or Jersey or probably even
Germany, shoot, I'm about to be international in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Come on, what we doing?
Yes, sir. But we appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure you drop us a like. Make sure you drop us a follow. Shout out to my guy Pansu. We're gonna have Pansu on the show very, very soon. Make sure y'all follow the solution-based thinkers here at the Talk That Lingo podcast. We try to be solution-based thinkers. A lot of people like to focus on the problem and running the victim Olympics. Here at the Talk That Lingo podcast, we do not do that. We focus our efforts on solutions. We are solution-based thinkers. And with that being said, it is your boy John Quick.audio. Shout out my cousin Tafari. I appreciate y'all tapping in once again, and we out of here. Go.
Peace.
Yes, sir.